It's time for some damn good tacos in college football. We're excited to announce our title sponsor, Torchys Tacos, for the Arkansas Football Report with Otis Kirk, and the new addition to the Hogville.net family, the Arkansas pregame show starring former Hog running back Marshall Foreman, hosted by Jason Pattison. If you're looking for a place to unwind and call the Hogs, Torchys is the place. Torchys' location on MLK in Fayetteville is the proud host of the Arkansas pregame show, and it will air 2 hours prior to kickoff of each Fayetteville home game. The Arkansas Football Report airs every Thursday at 7 p.m. in Rogers. Check out the full-service bar on the patio or in the restaurant while you cheer Arkansas on to victory. Torchys has you covered with the daily drink specials or the taco of the month with their queso that's made in-house fresh daily. Torchys has 2 convenient locations in Northwest Arkansas, which happen to be the only 2 locations here in the great state of Arkansas. They have you covered for some damn good tacos, and go Hogs. And good evening, Razorback Nation. It's Thursday, May 8th, 2025, and welcome to the Arkansas Football Report with Otis Kirk. I'm Jason Pattison. I want to say a big thank you to the teams in Rogers and Fayetteville at Torchys Tacos locations for their hospitality that they show us each and every week. You can always click on the like and subscribe button on the Hogville YouTube channel. You can watch all of the past shows from Otis, Dudley, Kevin, and Marshall. A special thank you to Carbless Cocktails. You can try any of their 9 different flavors plus the spring flavors that they have also released here at Torchys Tacos or at any major retailer. They are 0 sugar, 0 carbs, and 100 calories per can. They offer the 8 different vodka flavors, also the margarita tequila. I've got the blood orange in front of me tonight. And also, make sure you stop by Torchys and pick up one of those and pair those with a taco. Be sure also to stop by either of the 2 Torchys locations here in Rogers or in Fayetteville, which happen to be the only 2 locations here in the great state of Arkansas. You can try their queso that's made in-house fresh daily with their taco of the month, which I got Coleman Thomas over here. He's going to help pub that here in just a second with us. And also pair either that or any of those great tacos on that board behind the register and open up your taste buds to a whole new world. Man, Coleman, how you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on, man.
Tell me what you got here tonight.
Well, tonight we have our new taco of the month. It's called the Tokyo Drifter. I don't know if y'all can get a little glimpse of that.
Nice.
Super fresh. It's wontons. It's got teriyaki pork. It's got a sriracha mayo drizzle, which is divine. And then the sweet and sour cabbage slaw with like cucumbers and red cabbage in it.
Nice.
It's a very fresh kind of crunch to it. It's different than any other taco we have on offer right now. And easily top contender is one of my favorite tacos that we make here. It's definitely like top one right now. Along with that, we do have our drink of the month. If I can talk a little bit about that.
Sure.
It's our Sunset, our Furious Sunset. If you can kind of pick up on the movie franchise that we're kind of talking about here. We got the Furious Sunset. It is an orange with our Camarena tequila. It also has a watermelon Red Bull, which is super like light. It's energetic. It kind of gets you going for the day or for the pregame. It's a wonderful drink that goes well with everything right now.
It's baseball, softball season right now. Arkansas won their second game in the SEC tournament 6-1 against Tennessee, which makes them 4-0. The patio is starting to open up. It's starting to get warmer outside. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we actually have a large outdoor seating area along with an outside bar that we run while it's warm, while it's nice. Even when it's a little bit rainy like it has been these past God knows. It's just always rainy. But
last 3 weeks have been pretty stinking wet.
Yeah, it's been horrible. But at the same time, like we're still out here having a great time. It's always open. It's always ready for you guys.
Yep. So, you guys offer the bar out here. Fayetteville doesn't have that, but I'm just saying, if you're in the area, you need to stop by because this bar outside, it's a game changer for folks. I mean, yeah, it's nice, and everybody's been cooped up now for the last 3 or 4 months, and everyone wants to get outside, and I think that's a great piece that you guys have to offer.
Absolutely. Everyone's really cooped up after all this rain, so it's here for you.
Well, Coleman, thank you for jumping on with me this evening, and appreciate it.
Thank you.
Marcus wasn't able to be here tonight. He told me, he was like, he trusts you for it. He's like, put this guy in front of the camera and let him go. So that's what we did.
Yeah, well, I hope I did well for you guys.
You did excellent, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
We're going to bring Otis on here real quick. We're
All
going to go quick, just a minute little break here, and then we will be back in just a second. Y'all, it's time for some damn good tacos in college football. We're excited to announce our title sponsor, Torchys Tacos, for the Arkansas Football Report with Otis Kirk, and the new addition to the Hogville.net family, the Arkansas pregame show starring former Hog running back Marshall Foreman, hosted by Jason Pattison. If you're looking for a place to unwind and call the Hogs, Torchys is the place. Torchys' location on MLK in Fayetteville is the proud host of the Arkansas pregame show, and it will air 2 hours prior to kickoff of each Fayetteville home game. The Arkansas Football Report airs every Thursday at 7 p.m. in Rogers. Check out the full-service bar on the patio or in the restaurant while you cheer Arkansas on to victory. Torchys has you covered with the daily drink specials or the taco of the month with their queso that's made in-house fresh daily. Torchys has 2 convenient locations in Northwest Arkansas, which happen to be the only 2 locations here in the great state of Arkansas. They have you covered for some damn good tacos, and go Hogs. And we're back, everybody. Thank you for joining us this evening. We are here live at Torchys Tacos in Rogers. Got the man, the myth, the legend here beside me. Otis, how you doing?
Doing good.
Man, I'm going to tell you, I know that the roster's kind of stacked with wide receivers, but they just brought another one in.
Yeah.
I think it's some of the Bobby Petrino effect. Jalen Brown coming over from Florida State.
Yeah, they've signed a bunch. I think they've signed 7, if my memory's right, out of the portal, just out of the transfer portal. 5 at midterm and 2 now, or 2 in the spring. Yeah, and then still got some returnees and some high school signees. And,
yeah.
So, yeah, it's definitely not going to be shortage of numbers now. I don't know, how good they'll be, but the numbers are certainly there. But I guess if you sign enough, you figure you're going to have 5 or 6 good ones. No, I think they've got, just joking about that, they've got some good ones. Yeah, I'm really high on Antonio Jordan, which has nothing to do with the portal. But I think that when it's all said and done, they'll have a pretty good rotation there. I don't know that I don't think anybody's going to put up Andrew Armstrong numbers, but I do think that they'll be pretty balanced there. I like those 2 small ones, Shanks and the other kid from Fresno State, Sharp. Those are fast, versatile players. They're not big, but they can get open and catch the ball.
Well, they fit that Bobby Petrino system that you've seen for so many years, where it's a 5'9", 5'10", 5'11" guy that can really get, as some folks, and I know this is an industry term, has got a little bit of wiggle to him, but
Banks definitely does.
Yeah, he does, and I think that a lot of fans, they didn't get to see that during the spring game, and I think honestly Sam was pretty happy about that because he didn't have, I know that folks see and know kind of what they have, but it wasn't on display on television where a lot of these other scouts can say, you know what, we're going to go poach this guy. Didn't have that opportunity, and I think that they were pretty happy about that.
Yeah. I think he felt, though, by that point, I think he felt like what they were going to lose was going to be backups. Most of those were probably asked to leave. The one player, obviously, Madden, the quarterback, was the one that they didn't. It was not, he was a backup, but he wasn't one they wanted to lose. The rest of those kids, I think every one of them, they knew they were out the door. They had to get rid of some to sign the 8 or 9 players they signed out of the portal, and so they did. And, Arkansas's gotten better. They've got a chance to win some games this fall. They're going to not beat themselves for a change. That's what I felt like they killed themselves last year with turnovers.
Yeah.
We talked about that over and over, and it was true. But I feel like that, they've gotten – I feel like they'll be at least as good, if not better, than last year as a team. But, schedule, I think – the schedule was tougher. Last year you had 3-1 non-conference. If they can win 3 non-conference games this year, they'll be doing something. Because you've got Notre Dame, Arkansas State, going to Memphis, and then you got Alabama A&M. And you look at that, Alabama A&M's the only automatic win you got in that group. Figure they'll beat Arkansas State, but who knows? Memphis, I've said that a million times. I don't know why you schedule that game anyway. Notre Dame doesn't bother me. I mean,
No.
you lose it, you lose it. You win it, you've done something. But I don't mind playing a team like Notre Dame, but I don't understand going to Memphis. I don't get.
Yeah, and that's one of the head scratchers too, because if you do play in Memphis, you'd rather play in Memphis in October, November, not end of August, first part of September, like the way the game's scheduled.
Yeah, it's set up. You go into Memphis, you go to Ole Miss. They're back. I think it's back-to-back weekend, if I'm not mistaken. And so you'll be wearing the road out going over there, but they will be. But it is what it is. But I think Arkansas, if they can cut out the turnovers, Taylor needs to cut back on his, and the other guys not fumble the ball and throw interceptions and stuff. I think they'll still be okay. But it's going to be tough to win 7 or 8 games this year. It's going to be tough. I mean, last year I picked them to win 8 in the regular season. I won't be picking them to win 8 this year. I don't see it. But then again, they could. Maybe they could have won more than 8 last year had they not fumbled the ball and thrown interceptions.
That's true. But let's talk about Jaylen Brown for just a second. He's the second transfer from Florida State that's came to Arkansas. I find it a little interesting because offensive coordinator at Florida State now is Gus Malzahn.
Yeah.
And now you got a second transfer coming from them. He was dismissed at the end of spring ball. They said that there was a report out that he was picked up for possession, was released. And then after he was released, he was dismissed from the team. Like you said, second school in 2 years.
Third school in 3 years.
And now third school in 3 years. LSU is a freshman that redshirted. Then he played a little bit last year at Florida State. Now he's at Arkansas.
Yeah, 8 catches, 75 yards last year. He's top 100 player coming out of high school.
Yep.
Out of Gulliver Prep in Miami. They got the quarterback in there. And also they got Gus's center down at UCF, Caden Kittler. So
yeah,
they're getting, they're letting Gus have it in some ways on recruiting. So, Jaylen Brown's got good speed. He was a top 100 player coming out of high school. They feel like they can get it out of him and develop him. Obvious question, you feel like you can develop him, but, he's been to 3 schools in 3 years. Will he stay at Arkansas and be developed, or is he going to, if he doesn't play as much as he wants or whatever, will he leave? So I don't know. I mean, that's what you get into now when you talk about developing players. They can still develop players, but will they stay? I mean, that's the $1 million question, man. It's not just Arkansas, that's everywhere. So we'll see. But Jaylen Brown, they like him. They feel like he's got some potential. He's got really good speed. And that's
he reminds me of Omega Blake a little bit.
Just not as big as Omega, but he's got really good speed. He's he can catch football, they say, and I haven't seen him catch, but I know he's got really good speed. I talked to him. Seemed like a pretty nice kid.
I feel bad for him because last year the only thing he was catching at Florida State were losses.
Yeah, they caught a bunch of those last year. And I didn't understand it. Really, I know their coach. People down on him, want him fired, but actually that guy's a pretty good coach. They got a good head coach. People think I'm crazy saying that. But I know him, and he's not a bad head coach.
I mean, if he was a bad coach, he would have done nothing over when he was at Memphis.
Yeah, he did well. Maybe he went undefeated for Florida State until they lost all their players from the bowl game. But yeah, he's undefeated. I mean, no, he's a good coach. I mean, I don't know I don't keep up with Florida State and all their happenings, and I get why people are down on him. I mean, it's what have you done for me lately? World we live in, That's what it is. And he didn't do much for them this year, so they're down on him. But I do know he's a pretty good coach. But we'll see how it all works out. I mean, but Arkansas got 2 players from there. I like the quarterback. He's a really good kid. Pretty good sized kid and everything. So I like the quarterback. I really do. I think he's got a lot of potential. Not going to set the world on fire immediately, but I do think he's got the potential.
The one I really think that a lot of fans are going to be really surprised, and they're going to forget about some of these guys in the backfield with Mike Washington. That guy, whenever you've got defensive players telling you that you've got to strap it on, you got to tighten it up, put your mouthpiece in, and like with what Jerry's piece that he wrote back on the 25th, I do believe it was Larry Worth that had said that. When you got guys on there that are known to be like skull crushers back there, and they're back there getting punished by this running back. That right there tells me that I don't have to worry about that running game as much as we might have thought.
No, Mike Washington may be the best running back on that team. You know, I love Braylon Russell. I'm not saying he's better than Braylon. I'm just saying he may be.
Yeah.
Mike's a good running back, a very good running back. And he and Braylon combined, I like A.J. Green. I think 3 of them and, Rodney Hill, 4 of them. You know, you've got options back there. And, all of them can play. And they'll probably need them because the injuries will happen, and it's that position injuries happen. But Mike Washington's a very good running back. I heard people have doubts about him when they signed him. I'm thinking you're missing the boat there. That kid's really good. He's really good.
He's one of those guys that reminds me of a running back that people just bounce off of, because if you try to go down below the waist and tackle him, you might as well just pack it in and call it a day, because it ain't happening. You have got to get on him high and low to bring him down.
I tell you what he does. He moves the chains. That guy moves the chains. He moves the pile. When he's running the ball, you don't see them no gain, 2 gains, 2 yards, 3. He moves the chains, buddy. He hits quite a few yards. Give him 2 or 3 carries row, and you'll have a first down. I'm just telling you, he's that good. He is really good. I mean, I love Mike Washington Jr. I think he's a very good running back, and Arkansas stole him. They got Utah had him, and he hauled around there, and he visited Arkansas and loved it here and liked it better than Utah, so he could sign with the Hogs instead of Utah.
This is this time of the year, and then right around the mid part of July is probably the quietest part of your entire year, because next month camps start up, official visits start up. Tell me, how many did you say that you have coming in next month that you know of?
I think there's about 50 confirmed visitors for the 4 weekend, beginning with the last weekend in May and the first 3 weekends in June. Those 4 weekends, May kind of overlaps into early June, but those 4 weekends there'll be. I think there's about 50 coming in. That number will change. There'll be kids canceled. There'll be kids added. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it'll probably be close to that. I mean, but they've already got 15 commitments for that class. So, it's not like they're really short on numbers. They've got that many kids coming in. Some of those are the ones committed, but that leaves, even if, say 15 are committed, that still leaves 35 uncommitted visitors, and some of them are committed to other schools. But Anthony Kennedy's committed to Missouri. I know they've got a Florida. They've got some other kids coming in that's committed to other schools. But, and that comes and goes. But Arkansas is going to host some kids and see what they need there. They're going to get a few more offensive linemen, I know. Always getting defensive linemen. Yeah.
I thought they would get more out of the spring portal too. I mean, they did.
It wasn't a very good class.
But
defensive tackles out there. It wasn't very good pickings, man. The pickings were slim, and they didn't want to just take one to be taken. It just wasn't a very good crop, which I guess is what I'm saying. It just wasn't really there what they were hoping. That's why you only saw the one kid and then the edge, because it just wasn't very good pickings there. The crop was really thin.
Well,
tackle. Yeah. Well, for one thing, schools don't want to let those kids go, man. They're paying them more now, because you let them go, you can't replace them. So everybody wants to keep your Cam Ball. You want to keep your Dane Staley. You want to keep your Ian. You want to keep those kids because you can't replace them. And that's why you don't see very many of them in the portal. The ones that do go usually get pretty good bucks.
I do have to ask you this. Mm-hmm. Is there a possibility of any of the offensive linemen that would move over to defensive line that they had maybe earmarked and thought that might be a back and forth type guy?
Not really. That's a rough move from offense to defense, because usually if you can play deep, if you're athletic enough to play defense, you're playing that. You're not really playing offense. I'm not saying it hasn't been done in the past. It has, but you've seen more go from defense to offense. But I don't think that's the case. I can't think of anybody on offense that's really athletic enough, and if they're looking at moving over, I don't know of anybody in that boat right now.
Okay. I was wondering, because I know that's something that it could be on the table. I'm not saying it is, but if it is on the table, if there was anybody that might be earmarked for something like that. So out of this next couple of weekends, end of May, first part of June, are there any kids in particular that Sam and them might be focusing in on?
Yeah, I mean, they're always focusing in on some. I mean, there's going to be every kid they're bringing in, they're focusing in on trying to get them. And next week I'll have a list of the weekends and who's I have coming in. I didn't bring that tonight, but yeah, I mean, they're wanting to, and knowing you got 15 commitments, you don't have to get. You got 4 recruiting weekends. Heck, if you picked up a couple each weekend, you're sitting at 23, and that's more than they've been signing.
Yeah.
And you may lose 1 or 2 off your commitment list too. I mean, there's always a chance that they're recruiting kids committed to other schools. The schools are recruiting their kids too. I know Prevo took a visit to SMU recently. Tay Lockett took a visit to UCLA. So I mean, they're trying to poach Arkansas's list too. I mean, it works both ways.
It does. Really quick too, before my next question that I have for you, where you'll have that list for all of the kids that are coming in as far as official visits on hogville.net under is it under Kirk's Corner?
It will be, yeah. We'll get on there this week, yeah.
So be sure to Hogville, make sure to look under the recruiting tab under Kirk's Corner. Otis will have you up to date with all of the incoming recruits over the next couple of weeks, because once this whole thing starts with all of the camps and these OVs coming in, this guy's Red Bull fund needs to be restored a little bit.
Yeah, it's definitely Red Bull time then.
Because I'm going to tell you what, chasing recruits at 6 a.m., that's
Thank God that's mostly just a portal, though. Mainly just a portal that early. I'm proud that's closed, man. Or I'm proud they filled up out the portal. It's not, I mean, it's closed, but they're still signing kids. People are still signing kids in the portal. But Arkansas's finished with the portal. Thank God for that. For small miracles.
I want to turn to the NBA playoffs for just a few minutes before we get out of here. First off, Oklahoma City Thunder last night scored 87 points in the first half, which happens to be an NBA playoff record. Didn't think it was going to happen. Chet Holmgren was able to get 2 free throws with just about a half a second left to give him that 85 or the 87. Sorry, but Isaiah Joe, Jalen Williams out there, they're contributing, getting quality minutes out there. It looks like that. I'm not saying it could happen, but it looks like the Oklahoma City might be on its way to a title run at this point.
Well, they've got one of the best records around. They had it all season, maybe the best record. Them and Cleveland were up there. Cleveland's really struggling. Got injuries. Oklahoma City's been more lucky in the injury front. Yeah, Oklahoma City's probably got to be the favorite. I mean, I think I've said all year I thought Boston had the most talent, but but it's hard to repeat too, man.
It is.
I mean, Boston may, and they're down 0-2, but they've had both those games, just let them slip away. But Oklahoma City, honestly, probably the best team in the NBA. I mean, they've been there all year. They've proved it. Somebody's got to beat them to get it, and got to beat them 4 times in a series. Honestly, I don't know if anybody can. We'll see. I mean, the good thing about them, they've got home court.
Yeah.
They've got that good record. That's going to make sure their home court, somebody's going to have to beat them on their court.
Yeah, and that was also a thing, too, with that first game. I felt like they were kind of knocking the rust off. Yeah. I did see a stat today, I think it was this morning, where New York has only led 12 minutes of that entire series, the first 2 games, and they're up 2-0. That just tells you, I had to do it. The reason why I texted you and Dudley last night is I was trying to do it and give Dudley a wellness check last night after all that.
Yeah, those are tough to take, man, when you blow the 20-point lead. If you just get blown out, you can pretty well get over it,
Yeah.
or something. But, man, blowing leads like that, I know those are tough for me to take. I mean, you sit there and replay, what the world went wrong, But, hey, Dudley's like me, man. His teams have won enough, lost enough.
Yeah.
You really can't hang too much on one year or even one game or 2 games. I'm used to it, man. My teams occasionally win it, and then occasionally they lose, but Lakers, yeah, they didn't have a center. That's why I posted on social media before the playoffs started. I wish the Lakers had Mark Williams for this tournament, for the playoffs, because I knew without a center it was going to kill them, especially against Minnesota, man. And again, the playoffs, it's just you've got to have a center, and they didn't have one. Jackson Hayes got played off the court. I thought JJ should have played him.
Yeah.
Getting that game 5 when Rudy's going crazy. But I mean, I'm not saying he'd done much. He hadn't done, but that's why I said I wish Mark Williams was on the team. I get why they declined. They rescinded the trade because he was injury prone, and they didn't like what they saw on the test. So it's best they did that for the long term, but just short term, I wish they'd have had him. But they didn't. So it didn't surprise me that Lakers got beat.
Yeah, that's going to be one of the things that Rob Pelinka's got to be able to address in the offseason is making sure that they get not a serviceable center, but a center that can make a difference in the game.
They can't. I see these free agents like Clint Capella and guys, Brook Lopez. You can't do that. If you get those guys, Steven Adams, it's got to be for a backup. You've got to go get you a Daniel Gafford, Nick Claxton, Walker Kessler, somebody like that, man. I mean, you cannot fool around and get these older guys and back. If you want to get them for a backup, that's fine.
Yeah.
But you've got to make a trade. Free agents are not the answer. I mean, Miles Turner's the only free agent, and they're not going to be able to sign him. Indiana's not going to let him get away. So that's the only free agent that's good enough to help them like they need. So Nick Claxton, Daniel Gafford, Walker Kessler.
And I don't think that Giannis is really the answer for them too, because of his age, and two, what you're going to have to give up
you're going to deplete your team.
Yeah,
to get him, and that's why I said you're going to have to give up Austin and Rui and probably Connect and probably at least one or two more just to match salaries. And when you start doing that, you're going to have LeBron, Luka, and Giannis,
then the others
in bet minimums, and that's what you're going to have, man. And you just can't win that way. I love Giannis. If they could get him the year after LeBron retires, okay, that would be fine. LeBron, I mean, 2 of them like that, you can have 2 salaries. Start getting 3 like that, man. And you're going to have to deplete your team to get Giannis. I just don't want to do that. I prefer to keep those guys and get a big time center, or get Gafford, Claxton. I'm not saying they're big time, but they're good, very good, legit center. And that's what they need. And then improve your bench. The Lakers bench was awful. They didn't score any points. Gabe Vincent's got to go. Vanderbilt, is good on defense, can't score a lick. They've got to get some guys they need some instant offense off the bench, and they just need, I'd love to see a couple of guys. There's some people out there that they could get for that role, and there's free agents that they can get, but not centers.
I think my team might be able to get that trade, which is the San Antonio Spurs. They've got the draft capital, they've got the bench, and they've got the players already in place. And you can imagine this having possibly a Chris Paul, De'Aaron Fox, Wemby, and Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Yeah.
Along with Stephen Castle, which was the Rookie of the Year this year.
See, you've still got Wemby on a rookie contract. You've got young player. You don't have all these vets.
Yeah.
You got Paul's not on a big contract. So, you can do that if you're San Antonio. With the Lakers, it'd have to be, 3 salaries eating up basically all your cap. You could bring back Dorian Finney-Smith because of you got him on the team. You go over the limit to sign your own guys. Dorian, they could bring back. But where would your center come from? You're still not going to have a center. People talk about Giannis. He's not a center, man. He's a power forward, and he's not a center. And there again, he doesn't help your outside shooting, man.
Yep.
I see people talking about him going to Houston. I'm thinking Houston needs to get a Durant or somebody if they're going to do that, because he can't. He's not an outside shooter, and Houston has no outside shooting outside of Van Vliet now. I don't see Houston being the answer for him. I'm not saying he wouldn't help him, but I think Houston needs to go more for somebody who can shoot than Giannis.
I want to also give a big shout out to Courtney Deifel. Bree Ellis walked it off yesterday against Georgia in the bottom of the 7th. And then today they go back and they
top of the 7th.
Damn near skunk Tennessee, beat them 6-1 today.
Yeah, another grand slam in the 7th thing. Was it Reagan Kramer? Is that her name?
It may have been. Yeah, it may have been Jimmy. I got to look at that. But
I saw it. I know it was Reagan. Either Reagan Kramer, Raven Johnson. I haven't watched softball this year, but I think it's Reagan Kramer, and she hit a grand slam. Only her second home run this season.
She's been the heartbeat of this team this entire season, because she went through a huge stretch where she did not strike out at all at the plate. Either it was a ground ball out or it was a base hit of some sort. but I think that her strikeout total for the season is under 10.
Well, she got that ball up, and it just kept carrying, man, and it went out. And I didn't know when she first hit if it was going to be out or not. Turned out it cleared the fence, pretty good little shot. But I didn't know if it was going to go out or not. But I knew it had the right field. I could see the right fielder's eyes. I knew it had her turned around and burned. And the bases were loaded and 2 outs, so they were running on contact.
Yeah.
So they were going to get 3 runs out of that in all likelihood, whether it went out or not. And then when it went out, they got 4. But I think they were going to get 3 regardless because there was 2 outs, so the girls were running on contact. And that ball was hit high enough, and it had the right fielder toasted. So even if it stays in the park, they'd probably go up 5-1 instead of 6-1. And then I think Ellis got hit after that, so they still got their 6th run. So, yeah, they beat them. It was a big 7th inning again. I'm looking forward to that Oklahoma game tomorrow.
Oh, 3 p.m.
3 o'clock. Okay.
3 p.m. Yeah.
Okay. I guess 4 was Eastern. I heard 4. Okay.
I think 4 Eastern, 3 Central.
Eastern. Yeah, that's Eastern. Okay. I'm glad you told me that.
You know, and that's the thing too. Whenever Oklahoma came in here at the first of the SEC season and swept Arkansas, that first game really wasn't competitive. The second, the third one were very competitive. And now they're catching Arkansas probably at the worst time that they could because you've got Bree Ellis. I saw a thing on a stat on social media comparing her to Jocelyn Allo's run in Oklahoma here a couple of years ago, and Bree's year this year stacked up to Jocelyn's 2 best years at Oklahoma, where they won when they started that streak of the national championships. I'm not saying that Arkansas could do that. I am saying, though, that they have finally got a player now that has the pop that could carry them to Oklahoma City, which will be Courtney's first trip.
Yeah, I never will forget. I was out chasing football recruits. I think the portal. Pretty sure it's the portal.
Mm-hmm.
And I texted Dudley and I said, "There's a softball recruit." I just ran into it. Her name's Bree Ellis. It turned out he already knew she was coming to town. But yeah, Bree Ellis was the first softball recruit I ever ran into out chasing portal recruits. But yeah, I did. I texted him. I said, "I found this softball recruit. Her name is Bree Ellis. I think she's from Auburn." And he already knew about her. But yeah, I never will forget that.
And she looks the part too. I mean, she is a built person that is. I mean, let's face it, she's made for home runs.
Yeah, she's a good ball player.
Yeah,
she gets it. She's gone, man. But yeah, the girl hit one day, not that big. She's left-hander, and she got all of it. And like I said, she met the ball really well. It left the bat, and you could tell that the right fielder was turned around. She was burned. And like I said, I knew it was good because there was 2 outs, and I'm thinking, oh, is this going to be a pop-up or a fly-out? Deep wasn't going to be a pop-up, deep fly-out. No, it was gone, and that was huge, man. Big deal for the Razorbacks to win that game, and I'm glad they did because I want to see them play Oklahoma. I didn't.
That's going to be a good one.
Yeah, I'll watch that tomorrow, though. I hadn't been watching any softball this year, but I will tomorrow.
Yeah, Robin Herring,
fair weather fans, front runner. You know?
Yeah, Robin Herring got her 17th win of the season today. And what's so crazy is that, Otis, she's not really the ace of that staff. That's Cam Harrison.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, so she's
that's good when you've got multiple pitchers and you've got obviously more players than Bree Ellis can hit you a home run. So I mean, that's big. And Arkansas, Courtney's got a good team. She's got a very good team, and like you said, they're playing really well right now. Which some of her, I remember one year when they won the SEC and won all those tournaments, all those series and hadn't lost one, and then they got beat by Texas in the Super Regional. I actually covered that. And Arkansas wasn't playing its best ball right then, whereas this year it seems like they are playing their best ball this time of year.
Yeah.
And that's important. That's so big in baseball, too, softball and baseball.
And they're at Alex Box this weekend at LSU.
Yeah. And they're, if Arkansas can get back to playing their best baseball, this is a good time to do it because they were kind of dragging, and they did beat Texas.
I really feel like that team was revitalized, really, with that whole entire series from start to finish, from Thursday to Saturday. I felt like that was a completely different baseball team that we saw last weekend than we did the 3 previous weekends before that.
Something about Texas, man. I don't know. I mean, I know they were 19-2 coming into that series, but man, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. They could. The pitching didn't impress me. The hitting didn't impress me. The fielding didn't impress me.
I don't
know
what
how they
people
won
were-
19 games. I'll be honest with you. I wasn't impressed with Texas in the least. You know?
They didn't have their ace. I think they're going to get their ace back towards the middle end of the SEC
One
tournament.
pitcher, I find Danny,
But that closer was, I mean, he was supposed to be all world coming in, and Arkansas's bottom of the lineup, mind you, was the ones that were really taking the cracks on him.
Yeah.
So
I'm just what, but they couldn't score. You know, I just wasn't impressed with Texas. I mean, Arkansas played well. I'm not trying, and I'm sure Arkansas had a lot to do with that.
Yeah.
But and people says Texas hadn't played anybody good on the road. Well, they were 19-2. They played some road series.
somebody,
Nobody who, unless they played Missouri,
I was
they
gonna
played
say,
somebody pretty good because Missouri's the only SEC team that's not good. The rest of them are pretty good. Missouri's terrible. That's the worst baseball team I've ever seen in the SEC. But other than Missouri, everybody's pretty decent.
I did see this. Alyssa Oranger retweeted it and said, "Wouldn't that be something if they intentionally let Missouri win the SEC tournament?" It'd be some shit.
I don't know if they're good enough. I don't know if you could even let them.
I don't know if
they're
they
even good enough to take advantage of it. You know, I mean, God, they're terrible.
You could
That's the
give them
worst
an
team.
opening, and I think they'd still miss it. They're that
Yeah,
bad.
they're terrible, man.
They are.
I mean, they are absolutely garbage. I mean, baseball.
Well, everybody, I want to say thank you for joining us this evening. For Otis and myself, Jason, I want to say to you guys to take care. Get out there. It's supposed to be nice this weekend. Give your mom some love out there. It's Mother's Day on Sunday coming up, and go Hogs.
Thanks, man.
Y'all, it's time for some damn good tacos in college football. We're excited to announce our title sponsor, Torchys Tacos, for the Arkansas Football Report with Otis Kirk, and the new addition to the Hogville.net family, the Arkansas pregame show starring former Hog running back Marshall Foreman, hosted by Jason Pattison. If you're looking for a place to unwind and call the Hogs, Torchys is the place. Torchys' location on MLK in Fayetteville is the proud host of the Arkansas pregame show, and it will air 2 hours prior to kickoff of each Fayetteville home game. The Arkansas Football Report airs every Thursday at 7 p.m. in Rogers. Check out the full-service bar on the patio or in the restaurant while you cheer Arkansas on to victory. Torchys has you covered with the daily drink specials or the taco of the month with their queso that's made in-house fresh daily. Torchys has 2 convenient locations in Northwest Arkansas, which happen to be the only 2 locations here in the great state of Arkansas. They have you covered for some damn good tacos, and go Hogs.